It's been a while since the last video, but a lot has happened. You can see bits and pieces as I go around that have been done, but more exactly we're going to include the drains inspection edited into this, which I've just completed successfully, of the external drains. Still got a drain here to do. That's on this list with all these other items to do before we do the drains inspection, and almost ready for the DPM TPC inspection so that I can discuss as much as possible with the inspector. Okay, looking at the drains first, that's the soakaway coming from the rainwater harvester leading to the downpipe there, but also we've got dog washing station coming around here through this pipe going all the way along here. That's coming from the kitchen and linking up over there with a couple of manholes to the cesspit route. What I want to discuss is how I deal with this. Do I need to do some sort of concrete bridge for that pipe going over the other pipe? Interested to know. And also adding there that there is for the utility room, washing machine and so on, and also a dog washing station. Number 3 on the list is that we need a riser for that. It's £100 for the fact that we've changed the final ground level. We go with our drains test with actual water. We're just going to start here just to show that that water runs directly into there, and you can see it's gone straight through. If you stop pouring, you can see there's nothing left inside there. We'll race across to this one. This one we're pouring in, and as it's pouring in, this is completely dry. You can see it going through there. Let's run along. This is exciting. It'll be interesting to see that leaf carried away. Very far. So we're back at the next gully now, and it's arriving here already. Fantastic. So we need to race around here. Come on, off we come. And there's our flowing water. Beautiful. And that obviously is flowing downhill into the final one, which goes to the cesspit. The only one we haven't just tested on camera, but I know it works, is to pour down the pipe here. This down pipe on the right hand side of the house doesn't go to the rainwater harvester. However, the guttering is going to be angled to take all the water we can to the other down pipe, but if it can't cope, it will go down here. 4 is that black pipe, which is water coming out of the rainwater harvester, and the power pipe need to go through the wall and up through the DPM in here, and allowing a tap outside near the dog washing station there, but then continuing on through the doorway here. We'll have to go through this foundation wall, and then we'll come up through the DPM again about here for an external tap for car washing and the front garden and so on. Number 6 is to complete the foundation wall just here, going to about there, and the same the other side, each side of what will be the garage entrance with the garage door. Number 7 is to put the blocks across the entrance for the car drive over, which are paving stones, and we show you those. These are the paving edges, and that will give us a nice runaway for the water. I'm going to try and get a 1% level on that garage anyway, so a wet car will drain out of the door. Notice the broken one got those free because I'm going to need something like 2 and a bit of those, and so that saved me buying one. Job 8 and 9 is to bring this garage side door and the utility side door up to final floor level, which is about this height here with my finger, and of course this will only be kind of that wide for the door to sit on, and then the pearl light will come up flush for that, ready for the resin to be up to the door that's fitted. And not on the list I've just written, I remember I've got to finish the painting with the Wonder Paint on all of these things to stop any coal being drawn up. So anything white you can see there needs painting with the final coats, and that hasn't been done yet. Complication over there is a blackbird's nest, so I can't do that till the blackbirds are gone. And that is a blackbird's nest. You can just about see there's mum on the nest. We've got a few babies there. That's the second lot they've had in the same place. Fantastic. Job 10 is to remove the hardcore, which was a ramp here, allowing the water harvester to be delivered by a telehandler, and that hardcore will be used in other places. Job 11 is making good under this steel, which isn't quite finished. There's not a lot to do there. Job 12 is to get the hardcore here to its final level, and then job 13 is to add the sand. Of course that can be done because this is done, the doors are done, and of course DPM can be added there. Whether I put that on at this point or when I do the whole DPM, I don't know. Job 15 is the first level of the internal wall, which runs along this foundation block here, and that will mean we can complete the floor here to its level with hardcore and sand, which are the next two jobs on the list, and then that's ready for DPM as well. The only advocate on what I just said is the fact that that's got to be left open for inspection. Just to add, the final floor level is inside this internal wall already with the sand, the final level of the sand is already done, and it comes out to these blocks, so that spade is actually resting on it. That's all protected by wood in there, and then we've been having to use that room for our business, so that wall is a complication to come out and then get back in after the DPM's done, or whatever we do with that. 19 and 20, finish the blocks to the left of that goal post, which is where our frameless glass windows will go, and to the right as well, which you can hardly see from here. There should be one layer across there. Two as a maybe, there's a bit of downpipe there. Try and link that up somehow to the downpipe over here so that water runs into the water harvester. Why waste it when it pours down in the summer? We can use that for the garden. I think I missed out job 3, which is adding a tap, which will be to the left of that mound over there, coming from the water harvester, so there's water for the garden. Job 22 is to dig the trench across here. Partially started over there. There's concrete in the ground that's going to need a breaker. That's going to do my back a lot of good. And then going on from there, the hole through the wall, and that links up. Let me show you where it links up with the old cesspit route. Yeah, as I say, that comes through the wall here and links up down there to that inlet to this manhole. Of course, adding shingle, putting the pipes in, expanded foam through the wall, 10mm gap around the pipe through the wall. Of course, you have to have joints each side of that as well. Lots of regulations to stick to there. This is complete. I'll use that hardcore to fill in the rest of this trench. That goes around the corner and down here as well, which will look to be done after that was made good. You can see what we're filling in then. We possibly make the next order of hardcore. We're going to need 150mm level over this minimum. We could use what we got perhaps to fill in these bits and bobs here, but it'd be nice to get the first layers compacted down when the inspector's coming. But we've got to obviously leave this open here for inspection. I know I'm going to need more shingle when we do the infill, but gosh, when we do the infill, I'll be so pleased to get rid of these mud piles. Finally, I hope you're still awake if you've watched the whole video. A lot's gone through there, and Paul, lots of things to discuss, I think. But you can see there's quite a lot of work to do before we get to that inspection. But once that DPC and DPM inspection is done as well, all being well, I think this is going to absolutely fly up using those pink blocks, which are just placed on that wall there, making a barrier for the dog you saw.